Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we are getting started. So hopefully you guys can see me. Let me know if you are here in the chat. We are doing the first session of the Power Up Your Pedagogy PD Challenge, and we're super excited for you to be here with us today. As you're coming in, we would love for you just to drop your name, your grade level, tell us where you're from, put it in the chat so we can see. I see some Illinois. I see Ohio. Hi, Stacy. Teresa is from El Paso, Texas, in high school. We've got California. We've got North Carolina, Illinois again, Texas, Missouri, Ohio, Saudi Arabia. Wow, that is amazing. Hi, Tanya. Tanya's in Missouri. Pennsylvania. Wow, this is incredible. We have a ton of you guys here today. So hopefully as you're coming in, you're able to share a little bit about who you are, what grade you teach, and where you are from. We will be doing this session live, but you will also get a replay as well. So if you are watching the replay, just let us know that you are watching the replay as well. We've got a lot of people coming in, and we do have a cap on this. So if for whatever reason you are unable to attend live, there will be another replay. Okay. So love for you to drop your name, your grade level, where you're from, so we can see where you guys are from. Awesome. So many Texas. We've got 9th through 12th grade science, lots of Texas, Spanish. Daisy, I've got something for you today. Awesome. New Jersey, all subjects. This is fantastic. All right. So this first session is going to show you the power of AI feedback and coaching for your students and give you a first look at your new teacher sidekick class companion. I don't know if you guys can see my shirt right now, but we want to teach you how to enhance your teaching superpowers with your AI sidekick. Okay. So first, let me just introduce myself and introduce the team here. My name is Brittany Blackwell. I have been an educator for the past 14 years, and I am the marketing and community lead here at Class Companion. Avery Pan, who is our CEO and co-founder, is in the she's in the chat. So say hey to Avery in the chat if you're in there. She is moderating, so just make sure you say hey to her there. All right, so this PD series encompasses 4 separate sessions. They're all on different topics, and they're designed to get you ready for the new school year with your AI sidekick. While we'll be unleashing the power of AI feedback and coaching today, really getting into that nitty-gritty of what Class Companion can do, Thursday, we're going to be talking about more ways to use it for formative assessment in ways that you may not have thought of previously. Okay. In the third session, which will be next Tuesday, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to be talking about meeting all of the needs of the learners in your classroom, including special education students, multi-language learners, really utilizing insights to differentiate for those learners and your AI sidekick. Okay. And then finally, we're going to be supercharging your back to school prep, where we're going to be giving you a step-by-step guide to incorporating Class Companion into your current workflow, really introducing your students how to use the AI sidekick, really effective routines that set you up for success at the beginning of the year. And so we have some really awesome stuff planned for you in these next 3 sessions. So please, please, please make sure you show up live. We've got lots of friends saying hey in the comments to Avery. Awesome. Yay. Okay. So what's the goal of this? Okay. What are we doing today? Well, in today's session, what we really want to do is we want to learn how Class Companion as your sidekick can transform your classroom and enhance those teaching superpowers, right? So if you're ready to do that, put you a superpower emoji down in the chat for us. Let us know that you are ready to get started. We're going to dive into that. We're going to learn how to use Class Companion not only as a teacher, but as a student. And then we're going to talk about and dive into the features and the benefits that you have as a teacher. That way we're all set. We're all ready to rock and roll for that second session, which is on Thursday. All right. Let's see those superpower superhero emojis down in the chat. Yes, I love the strong arm. Yes, Jenny, Charla, awesome. Okay, so first things first, quick housekeeping. In order for you to receive your PD certificate, you have to attend this session and you have to participate. You also are going to be responsible for completing the session one action step or assignment via a Google Doc and submit that into the PD certificate form as well. Okay, you're going to receive that doc and that form soon, so don't worry about it. You can also find this in your Power Up dashboard after this session, okay? So no worries, you're going to get those things, but those are the requirements for your PD certificate, okay? Here's the schedule. This is what we're going to do. This is the whole breakdown here. In this session, we are going to use the I do, we do, you do strategy. Okay. I'll first do this with like an intro to some class companion basics. Then together we're going to explore that student side first. You're going to have the opportunity to look around as a student in a class that I have created. And then we're going to switch sides. Okay. Then you're going to go to the teacher side. And I'm going to give you time to explore, to ask questions, do it in a you do fashion. Okay. And then we'll be done for the day. You'll be back on Thursday, right? You'll be back on Thursday. That was a lot of talking, okay? But I want to hear from you guys. Before we dive into unleashing the power of immediate feedback, let's get everybody involved, okay? If you haven't been emojiing it up in the comments or if you haven't said where you're from and all that, let's get into this, okay? There's tons of you guys here, but we're going to use a technique called the waterfall method, okay? Maybe you guys have heard of it, maybe you haven't, but this is going to help us capture your thoughts. The waterfall method is a way that we can gather everybody's input simultaneously, but instead of seeing each response come in one at a time, we're going to wait till everybody's ready, and then we're going to share all at once. This way, we can get this instant snapshot of everybody's thoughts without being like influenced by everybody else's responses. I know that happens in the classroom, right? So I'm going to put the question on the screen. I want you to think about your answer, type it into the chat, but do not hit send yet, okay? I'm going to give you guys time to think. And then on the count of 3, everybody's going to hit send at the same time. This way we'll see everybody's responses cascade like a waterfall, okay? So think about it. Don't hit send. And then when I count to 3, then hit send, okay? So here's the question. How comfortable are you with teaching with AI in the classroom on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 is not comfortable at all. 5 is very comfortable, okay? Don't hit send. Don't hit send, okay? So let's give you a minute to think about that. How comfortable are you with teaching with AI in the classroom on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 is not comfortable at all. 5 is very comfortable. Okay, are you guys ready? All right, I'm going to count to 3, and on the count of 3, hit the enter button. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. Awesome. Oh my gosh, look at all these responses. Holy moly. Okay. See a lot of 3s, kind of that mid. Feel comfortable using. Jenny said she feels comfortable using AI for things, but it's not helping the students utilize it. I get that completely. 3s, 4s, 2s, 1. Shannon's at a 1. Kathleen's at a 1. All right. So we've got a really mixed bunch here. Wow. Okay. I would say probably, I am no mathematician, but I would say probably we're at a mid of 3, okay, like an average of 3. And that is to be expected. AI is a brand new resource that is around for teachers. We haven't been using AI so frequently in our classrooms. We haven't been using it with our students. And so this is a brand new territory. But this is what this session is for, to help you feel a little bit easier, a little bit better, and it gives you a lot more control. So it's not as crazy or difficult as it sounds, okay? So I'm so glad to see that a lot of you do feel somewhat of a comfortability. For those of you who are ones, do not worry. We are going to get you through this session. We're going to teach you a little bit about it. We're going to give you time to think a little bit about it and then respond. You're going to be able to ask questions. And throughout the rest of these sessions, you'll be able to layer on this information. We consider doing this session as a big, long session where it would be like 4 hours. I personally think that's not enough time to really reflect and be like, how would I use this? And so that's why we've broken it up into these pieces, and we're offering these replays so that way you can go back and you can say, what did she tell me about Class Companion in that first session? You can go back and you can watch that. Okay. So if you've just now learned about Class Companion, you've entered the world of Class Companion, let me give you a quick little brief overview of what your new sidekick is. Okay. Class Companion is a free AI-powered teaching platform that allows for teacher-guided, AI-powered coaching that increases your student engagement and your student outcomes. This is going to save you time as a teacher, right? Because there's only one of you and there's 25 of those kids in your class, right? Or more. And this is also going to give your students what they need in order to be successful. So often we are unable to reach all of the learners in our classrooms, and we can only be in one place at one time. And so Class Companion is there to help support where it can, okay? So what's next is I'm going to do a little demo, okay, from our demo class, so you guys have some idea of what this looks like before I let you guys dive in first as a student and then second as a teacher, okay? So I'm going to switch over screens really quickly. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then I'm going to share again from this side. And hopefully you guys have been able to go ahead and set up your personal classroom. That was part of your pre-work. So hopefully you guys were able to do that, able to sign in that way. All right, so let's take a look at this demo class. Once you are in your demo class, everybody has a demo class on your side. Hopefully you guys can see my screen really quickly. Awesome, great. Okay, so as soon as you sign up as a teacher, you're going to have a demo class. Demo class is going to be purple right here. And this is going to give you the opportunity to look around in a real class, okay? It's meant to help allow you the opportunity to play around, to look at assignments, to look at insights, the whole 9 yards without already having those things set up, okay? So what the full experience is like. You can see everything from, let's look at some of the assignments here. So if I go to, this is in my dashboard, you can see here, dashboard assignments. So if I click into assignments, I can see there are tons of different ones that I can look at. I can look at AP US history. There's 4 assignments in biology, 4 in English, 2 in geography, and wherever my Spanish teacher is, I saw a Spanish teacher in there. We've got some Spanish assignments in here too, just for you to kind of look at, okay? So this demo class is in your own portal, but we're just looking at it together, okay? So I want to show you guys one of my favorite assignments to look at, and we're going to look at geography short answer. So I'm going to dig into this. You can see I only have 2 students. I have Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger. Where are my Harry Potter fans out there? Let me know in the comments. Let me know that you're here and with us today. Okay. So we have those 2 students, and we're able to see their scores. Okay. And I want to look at Ron's really quickly. So I'm going to click into him. As you can see, I'm looking up here at the top. I can see that I'm in Ron Weasley. He has completed his assignment and he got a 3 out of 4. All right. The median age is an age at which the half of all people are older and half of people are younger. Use the map below. So I can see this image. That means the AI can see this image as well. So that's really cool. And so I can look here. Here's my first question. I can see where Ron responded, how long it took him to respond. And then I can see what Class Companion is saying back to him. So this gives you guys a lot of control as a teacher, because you're able to see the interaction that your students are having with the AI, what your students are typing, but then also what the AI is responding with as well. Then over to the right-hand side, I see question score incorrect, okay? And I can toggle between the first attempt. So this is Ron's first attempt. It says it took him 35 seconds, or I can do the final. And I want you to notice, I'm looking here at Ron. Ron asked for help understanding the map. Now, if we offer multiple attempts in an assignment, then students will be able to get coaching from the AI. So this might be one of those times where you're wanting the student to get the correct answer or get some support, but asking for help here did not impact his overall understanding, nor did it impact his attempts. Okay, so he asked, help me understand the map. And so Class Companion responds and says, to understand the map, you just need to look at the different colors that represent the median age ranges across the United States. So you can see it's giving him support without giving him the answer, right? And that's exactly what we want to be able to do inside of our classrooms. All right. So the other part that I want you to notice is that he has this incorrect, but there's this little gavel here. Now, if I personally looked at his response and thought, that's good enough, I have the option here to then change that final score to correct, and then I can explain why I gave that score. Maybe the AI thought that he didn't give enough information, or maybe he showed that he understood without getting the exact correct answer, and maybe I want to offer that, okay? So you have the option to do that here. So you can see how often or how many seconds the student asked for help and responded. And so you're able to really look individually at these things. So this is a really great example of how an assignment works. Okay. So obviously, this one's a really good one because it has this image in here. You can add your images, import those images. And so that's really neat there. The other assignment that I'd really like to show you guys is an ELA assignment. Now, again, this is a small sample of assignments here. This is just a very short sample, and this is tailored more towards older grades, but Class Companion is for grades K through 12. Okay, so we can actually tailor our classes, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, towards those younger grades. All right. So let's check out an English assignment here. I want to look at this essay on the road not taken. So I can click into that. And again, I have Ron and then I have Hermione. And I want you guys to notice before we only saw complete, but here we're actually getting a taste of pasting. So while pasting doesn't always mean that a student is cheating, this does give us some indication that there was pasting that occurred, and we can look into that a little bit better. So we can notice Ron has a 40 or a 2 out of 5, and then Hermione has a 100. So I can actually dive straight into her assignment. Again, we can see the score up here at the top. And I could actually toggle between students here if I would like to look at each individual student on this assignment. Here's the prompt here with the excerpt. And so it took Hermione 4 minutes to respond, and we can actually click on this button here that says show all pasted text. And we can see it's not really a whole lot that she pasted, right? It's just a little bit. So it's less likely that this was something that she cheated on. Maybe she just took it straight from the excerpt, right? We can see exactly what the AI has given her credit for. So the main idea, one example to support the main idea, and then grammar and spelling. I also noticed that I can see this copy feedback here. So perhaps I want to input this into another document or onto my grading platform. I can actually copy this here, and the feedback is copied to my clipboard, and then I can paste it to wherever I'd like to. Awesome. Okay, so that kind of shows you a little bit about that. Let's look at the students again, because this one's a really cool place to look. In our students tab here, I can look at Hermione and I can look at Ron. I want to look at Ron because if you know anything about Harry Potter, Ron does seem to struggle a little bit more. And so when we click into Ron as a student, I'm able to see these analytics straight up. I can see his median score is a 58%. I can also see that he tried again 29% of the time, and 33% of the time he's asking for help. This is really great because this allows me to say, hey, Ron, you're doing a really great job of asking for help when you need it. And so maybe that tells me that Ron is getting the support that he needs, but maybe we need to do something individually or in a smaller group together in order to improve his scores. Okay. So if maybe he had a 0% here, but his grade or his median score was at 58%, then I might suggest that he could ask for help. So these are just different types of suggestions that as you're kind of looking at these in your own dashboard with your own students, that comes about. As I scroll down, I can see the most common feedback. This is a really amazing part here because I'm able to parse out not only what Ron needs in order to grow more, but I can see his strengths too. So I'm able to see 3 individual strengths that are most commonly given to him, but then I can see his 3 areas for growth. Okay. And those might be the areas that we focus on in a small group lesson or something to that nature. Okay. And so I like to show this, but also we are going to be looking at this more in depth in the next couple of sessions. So don't worry if you're like, oh gosh, what can I do with this? We're going to teach you exactly what you can do in these next sessions. Okay. So this just kind of gives you an overview of this demo class. Again, you have this in your own personal dashboard in your teacher account. You just have to look for it in that first part here. So it's down here at the bottom and it's like blue and purple. Okay. And this one again is tailored towards 10th and 11th grade. And I did see in the chat where you can, where I saw in the chat where everybody was kind of focused on maybe this was for older grades. We can do this for younger grades. We just have to tailor to it. Okay. All right. Now what I want you guys to do is, well, I'm going to log out really quick and I'm going to switch my screen again to my presentation because this part is really, really important. All right. So hopefully you guys got to see just a little bit of the behind the scenes. Again, this is the I do part of this, right? There are those student level insights in the demo class. You won't get to see those until you have some insights because you're not going to have enough data. But once you have students in there, they're completing assignments that will populate for you as well. One of the most important things that you need to do or you need to know as a teacher utilizing your new sidekick is that privacy and security is a priority, and it should be yours as well. Okay. Class Companion does comply with all state student privacy laws. District admin, you as the educators, you guys can control your student usage and you have full visibility. All right. Data is never used to improve our AI models. There's no marketing, there's no advertising towards your students. And we are compliant with NIST cybersecurity framework, FERPA, COPA, and state privacy laws. Okay, so those are some really important factors to take into consideration. Inside of your dashboard, on the Class Companion site, you will have the option over to the side. It does say a data privacy packet, and you can request that, and that way you can get it approved for your school if that is necessary. But it does comply with all of those things. So mainly, how does it work? Okay, in just a few seconds, before we get started into the student account and the teacher account, we're going to stop. I'm going to look through these comments, okay? But how does it work? Number one, all you got to do is you got to generate or you add assignments in their rubrics. Okay. Number two, the students are going to respond. They're going to get that instant coaching, that instant feedback, those instant scores. Okay. And then your step is to review those student and AI responses. Look at those, make sure they're accurate, make sure they're interacting appropriately with one another, right? Because we do have those students sometimes. And then look at those insights. That way you can differentiate your instruction based on those immediate insights. That is the power of having this AI feedback. This does work again for grades K through 12 and a range of subjects. Okay. So don't feel as if you don't have you won't have any of those things. Wow, we've got a lot of friends here. All right. So let me look at some of these comments here. So Fern did say that she tried it with a fourth grade class for an essay writing assignment. It worked great with them. We also discovered it helped our teachers with great ideas for future feedback of their own. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Love that. And then let me see. Jessica says, this will be great for my writing assignments. Absolutely. But we don't want to stop there. So come back on Thursday for our formative assessment workshop, because we're going to talk more about how you can use this outside of just your normal writing assignments. Avery also shared that we do support multiple choice questions for a quick quiz. You can generate them on the spot, and we include feedback too on those. So Madison asks, can you import existing lessons from other platforms? And as long as it's a PDF, you can import those. So that is good to know as well. For the littles, it's helpful if they're comfortable using text-to-speech tool to be able to listen to the feedback. That is a great tidbit of information. I did not show this, but I will in just a little bit. You can upload handwritten assignments. So if you have students who are not comfortable yet with typing their responses, you can input that those handwritten assignments as well. Awesome. Okay. So hopefully either Avery or I am getting with your questions. If you have additional questions, we'll be keeping it up in the chat here, and we'll stop in just a little bit for you guys to ask questions again. This part now is going to be where we, as teachers, are going to take the student side, okay? Because you guys are all taking the seat of the student in this session. What better way than to explore as a student, okay? So I've created a class for this session. It's got an assignment or two to kind of get you started. I'm going to provide you guys with a link to get into the class. But first, make sure on your side that you are logged out of your Class Companion account. Okay, you guys probably saw me. I logged out of my Class Companion account. I want you guys to log out of yours as well. The most important thing for you guys to know, also, if you would prefer to watch this first, that is perfectly fine. You can watch with me. You can do it afterwards by yourself. But you can't have a student and a teacher account with the same email address. So if you already have created your teacher account, do not use that same address. Okay. All you have to do is add plus student to your email address. So for example, like mine is Brittany@classcompanion.com. It's going to be Brittany plus student at classcompanion.com. And I'm going to give you the link down here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put that into your browser, and you're going to choose sign up with an email address. Don't choose the single sign-on option. Just click sign up with an email address. Okay. So let me put that link here for you guys. This is how you will join the class. So it's bit.ly/powerupclasslink. Make sure you are signed out of your account, because it won't show up as a student account here. And then when that pops up, you're going to choose sign up with an email address. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to do it as well. That way you guys can see what exactly we're doing here. So for those of you who are you're not ready to do this together with us, perfectly fine. That is okay. So we're going to do bit.ly/powerupclasslink. And it gives you the option, sign up with an email. Okay. You're going to put your first name, your last name, and then your email address. So again, do not choose the same email address that you had before. Just add plus student to that. And then you choose the password. Hopefully you guys have been able to sign in to your student account. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you are ready and set to go. Awesome, Marisol is in. So what you should be able to see is a screen that says you're a student, okay? So Tiffany just got to the page, got thumbs up here. Awesome, ready. Woo, awesome. Got a lot of friends who are ready to go. So you guys are gonna take the role of the student here, okay? So hopefully you guys see Power Up Your Pedagogy, session 1. There are 3 assignments here ready for you. So we got a mixed assignment, we've got an essay, and we've got a multiple choice. All right. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to select an assignment from this dashboard. Again, this is the easiest way to do this was to choose a grade level that was like mid. So this is not tailored towards those younger grades or those super high grades. It's about a 6th, 7th grade level here. And it was just easiest to do it that way for you guys, just to be able to see how this kind of works. So there are 2 things that I want you to see specifically from this point of view, okay? I am going to put a timer up. That way you guys can have some time to look around. But what I want you guys to do is maybe try out in this mixed format here. And notice there's a diagram like we showed before. And it says to name a producer in the desert. Okay, so first thing that I want you guys to do is I want you to ask for help. Okay, it does tell you that you have 2 attempts remaining. So maybe I'm like, help me understand what a producer is. Let's see what it says. A producer is an organism that can make its own food from sunlight and non-living sources. The food web producers are usually plants. I want you guys to notice it did not give me the answer. Okay, it can see this diagram, but it did not give me the answer. So it gave me the understanding of what a producer is, but it did not give me the answer that it was grass or that it was a cactus. So I just want you guys to notice that. So number 1, I want you to ask for help. And then number 2, I want you to purposefully answer a question incorrectly, okay? Once you are done with this part, I want you to submit your assignment. So I'll be able to see this on my side, but I want you to submit your assignment and then try disputing a score, okay? Take note of anything you want to share with your students about the student side as well. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes and you can ask questions here in the chat if you're struggling to figure this out. I'm also going to put this in the chat. That way you guys know exactly what you need to be doing. But I'm going to start the timer here. Hopefully you guys can see the timer. Let me do this. And you certainly don't have to keep your student account either. This is just a way that you can see into it. So I'm putting a timer up here for you guys. Hopefully you guys can see it. It does have your checklist of things that you need to be doing here: joining the class, choose one of the assignments, ask help, purposely answer a question incorrectly. Okay? So I'm going to give you, you can choose any of the assignments, but I do want you to try the mixed one just for fun. And then if you guys are ready, Michelle says, I love the feedback and guidance if you don't answer it completely. Yes. Yes, because imagine the changes that students will have over time as they get used to receiving that immediate feedback. Think about those students who perhaps do not like to receive feedback from maybe you as the teacher, or feel like you're picking on them or what have you, but here they're able to get that feedback and not feel that way. So Michael asked, did class companion generate the questions or did the teacher? That's a good question. We are actually going to go into what this could look like either way. I'm not really sure about this specific assignment, if it was generated or if it was done by a teacher here. And Brent says, now it's not as scary to get it wrong. Exactly. Exactly. That's what we want. We want to close that feedback loop. We want it to continue so that students aren't afraid. They have that growth mindset there. Nancy says the CC response to my incorrect answer just keeps having 3 dots dancing. What happens if I reload the page? It may pop up for you. That may be something that's happening on your browser. And then Ron says, how do you dispute a score? Okay, so when you have an answer that is incorrect, so I'm going to actually be able to show that to you guys really quickly. Share screen. And if you guys are loving this, if you guys like this, if you're really enjoying this session, invite a friend. I mean, in your Power Up dashboard, you can totally invite your friends. If you're at, in school and your co-teachers have not heard of us yet, head in there, you know? So if I keep responding, I think that grass is a producer. Let's see what happens here. Great. Okay. So now I can see how it responded. It gave me the question score here. My script spelling and grammar. So if I got something incorrect, grass is a decomposer. So let's show you it when I get it incorrect. All right, so I can see here, so this little flag on the right-hand side, so it's the correct answer. Maybe I'm like, yeah, I did. So I can request the actual score, and then I can explain why my answer deserves that requested score. That's going to pop up on the teacher side. So you're able to respond to that in real time. Okay, so you'll be able to see who's disputing their scores. You'll be able to look at that and make a final score decision. Let me check the chat one more time. Daisy says, I'm loving this. Oh, I love this response. I'm loving this. I am feeling at a 5 now with Class Companion. Yes. Woo! That's what we like to see. All right. So the other one that I saw, and I just want to quickly just hit this. I like that it told you you haven't answered all of the questions and will not be able to go back. Yes. There was a specific question that I wanted to make sure. Ruby says, I'm concerned with quick feedback, especially if you're using it as a test for, especially like a push, okay, like AP US history. Students will panic and perhaps get a worse grade. So you can ensure that that feedback is at the very end of the assignment, so the students are still able to get that feedback at the end. That way, they're still able to do that for practicing for summatives, for quizzes, things like that. Tiffany says, I failed. Aw. All right. Trying to make sure that I get through these comments really quick. Tiffany says, I think this will be helpful mid-year for my littles. We can start in the beginning of the year to learn about it. Definitely going to discuss with my school leader. Perfect. Yes, please do discuss with your school leader to make sure. Yeah. Okay. So great stuff here. So hopefully you guys have been able to see this from the student perspective. Okay. Hopefully we're able to kind of dig into that, see that some more. And what's really great about this is now you do have your student account. So you can always add that to your actual class. That way you can kind of see that and get those alerts and things like that too. Charla says, I like that it encourages to use correct grammar and spelling. Yes. Yes. And so we try, Avery made a good point here. She says that we try to acknowledge what the student did, give it validation, kind of have that feedback sandwich here. In addition to giving praise, it can increase the motivation and then reduce that reliance on that outside praise. Madison, I will answer this question really quickly too before we move to the next part of this. Madison says, will there be a PD on how to get our students signed up for their accounts? Yes. Next Thursday, we are doing the session on back to school prep. So we're going to give you that step-by-step guide to really setting this up and making it successful with your students. We've got some really great routines to incorporate, all of those types of things. So yes, there will be. Again, if you're loving this, if you're liking what this can do and this is brand new to you, please make sure you invite your friends. Okay. Like we would love to help support your teachers, your co-teachers, other people in your building to get started with this. Okay. So now what we want to do is now we're going to take it to the teacher side. Yeah. We're going to switch over to the teacher side. So first, what I want you guys to do is hopefully you've had some time to kind of play around in there. But you're going to log out. Just go ahead and log out of your student account. Go ahead and log out of your student account. I'm so glad that I pronounced your name right. Awesome. Okay. So now I'm going to provide you guys with a Google Doc. Okay. So there's 2 steps to this. So remember what I told you earlier about your PD certificate? I'm going to give you a Google Doc. This is going to give you all the steps that we talked about today. Okay, so you can go back. You can say, oh, what did she tell me to do? I forgot what that was. This is basically your homework. Okay, so you're going to go to bit.ly/powerup session 1 homework. If this is too much or if there's too many things to do, don't worry. We've got this. It is okay. Okay, you can come back to that later and you're going to get this in your email and it's also going to be in your dashboard as well. Okay, so no stress. If it's too much to do 2 things at one time, sit back, relax, take a breath. Okay, so bit.ly/powerup session 1 HW. Okay, so there's your homework. All right. The other part of this is you're going to go ahead, you're going to log into your teacher account. We want to see this from the teacher perspective because that's where we're going to be hanging out mostly, right? That's what we're going to be doing. So that Google Doc is your action step. Okay, if it's too much, just follow the directions here with me. You can complete that action step afterwards. But there are explicit directions for each step inside of the document for your review. Okay, you should have already created your teacher account. So simply just log out of your student account and then log in as a teacher. The first thing that you're going to see if you're just now signing up is it's going to tell you that you need to create a class. So make sure that you have created a class. This can be a brand new class, a class that you know that you're going to teach this year, or it can just be your practice class. Okay, this doesn't have to be one that you use forever. You can also delete classes, so no worries there. And the first thing that I want us to do First thing I want us to do is once you've created a class, so I've got my third grade here. I'm going to click into this. It does tell me that I have to invite my students. If you don't have any students yet, that's not going to happen, right? So you could invite your students here and it'll give you a link, or you can invite via email. But for this, we're going to click over to the assignments tab. Up here at the top, you will see dashboard assignments. So once you've created your class, you should be in assignments. And then you're going to add an assignment. And what I want us to try to do with this is I want us to generate with AI. I want us to generate an assignment with AI. Okay. So we'll click into that. The first thing that it tells us here, again, if this is going too quickly for you or any of that, please feel free to watch and then do afterwards. It's all laid out in your doc. Okay. So you're going to generate with AI. And the first thing that you'll notice is it says type. Okay, what does that mean? Well, this says generic. Generic is a little bit strange. What is here is if you have a specific class like AP US History or something of that nature, there will be specific things for that grade level or for that content area, specific assignments that have already have the prompt kind of ready to go for you. So if you have a class like AP US History, AP, there's a couple of other classes here. Those will populate here. And if you don't have anything yet, it might be coming. Okay. So, but for this, since I'm doing third grade here, I'm going to click generic because that's fine. It's a generic assignment for third grade. If I had an LEQ or something of that nature, that might pop up for one of my other grade levels. The next thing that it says is provide specific details to the AI regarding the assignment that you'd like to generate. Okay, so what is the assignment that you envision? The first thing I want to think about is how many questions do I want? Maybe I want to create an exit ticket. Okay, and so an exit ticket may only have 5 questions. So I may say, I would like to, for 5 questions, and I might be a little bit more specific about what types of questions. So 5 questions, 1 short answer, 4 multiple choice on the water cycle. And if you have the objective that you're wanting to create from here, this would be a great opportunity. But you want to include how many questions, what the question types are, the topic, the learning objectives, those types of things. The more explicit that you can be, the better your outcome is going to be. So 1 short answer, 4 multiple choice on the water cycle. And I'm just going to click generate and review. Now for you, think about what you're going to be doing this school year. Think about what kind of assignment you might have. So it already populates from my class. I'm obviously teaching third grade. If I have a specific standard, maybe I'm doing Common Core, Florida standards, Georgia standards of excellence, something of that nature. I can add that. That's optional. And then what my subject is. So I'm doing science. So understanding the water cycle, I can add a unit here. I can add a topic here if I'd like as well. For this, I'm just going to keep it blank and move on to the next part, which is on the left-hand side here, you kind of have like a checklist. So you got your assignment settings, and then you've got questions. So I'm going to move to questions. So it already has it laid out for me, an introduction. Welcome to your assignment on the water cycle. The water cycle is an important process, gives me kind of this information, and then it starts with the questions. In this section, you're going to answer questions about the water cycle. So it gives me my short answer here. What is the process called when water changes from a liquid to a gas? What part of the water cycle involves water vapor cooling and changing back into liquid droplets? It gives me the correct answer here. Again, the correct answer here, correct answer here, correct answer here. And it answered all, it did exactly what I wanted it to. It gave me 4 multiple choice and 1 short answer. And I want you to notice when you click on this short answer, it has the tab that says question, and then it has scoring. So this scoring here is just to give you additional like an answer key. So maybe you have a specific vocabulary word that you've taught your students and you want to make sure that they use that in this question. You can add that here. Okay. You do not have to use this. The AI will be able to find that and respond to it, give that feedback. But if you're wanting a specific vocabulary word or something like that, then you would just say, here, this answer must mention photosynthesis. I don't know, like whatever that may be in this sense. So once you've looked through these questions, they're to your liking, you're cool with it. You can also add images and add excerpts. So if you have a specific image of the water cycle, maybe it's a blank water cycle, you can just kind of see it with each little piece. You could add that in here. You could add an excerpt if there's like a specific reading assignment or something of that nature, you could add that here too. The next part after you've done the questions is to add a rubric. So we don't have an essay here, so it's kind of blurring this out. We have to add an essay question to have an essay rubric. But if you have your own rubric that you may have brought, like you use for a lot of assignments, you could try adding that here if it fits this assignment specifically. Or you could generate with AI, or you can create from scratch. For this, I might just create from scratch. And maybe I have a checklist. A response must meet all of the following criteria to receive. So I might add a checklist here, or maybe I'm like, no, I don't like that. I might delete that here. And maybe I create a table. And so I can add criterion by pressing the plus button and add criterion. So maybe grammar and spelling is important. Maybe it's a 0 to 1. So 0 would be does not use correct spelling or grammar. 1 is uses correct spelling or grammar. So maybe that's a criterion. Another one might be answers question correctly, does not answer correctly, answers correctly. And maybe it's just as simple as that. Maybe that's the maximum score. And because I just created this on the fly, I'm like, I don't know if that's good enough. Maybe that's not good enough. I'm going to add a rubric here, short answer rubric. I'm going to add the name up here at the top. And then before I hit save, check this out. It says improve with AI. That's what I want you guys to do. I want you to try improving it with AI. So maybe I want a thesis and evidence. Maybe that's what I want my third graders to do. You can tell I'm a middle school teacher because I immediately went to thesis. And so it can actually improve your rubric with AI given this specific information. And I want you to notice that it gives some really good improvements here. Shows limited understanding. That sounds a whole lot better than doesn't use correct spelling, right? Shows limited understanding of standard grammar conventions. Uses standard grammar conventions accurately. So it's really improved this. Now, the content accuracy assesses the accuracy of the content, evaluates the presence of a clear main idea or argument, and then assesses the use of evidence. So I can accept these changes if I like this. And even if I accept them and then I decide, I've got content accuracy on here, maybe I don't like that one, I can delete it. Okay. And then you just click save. And I can check over it one more time. And then I'll go back to my assignment. So it now has my short answer rubric. And then I go to submission. Now, this is the really important part. And this is really, really cool because we just added this. So you guys are the first people to know that we've added this one specific part. But it says submission settings. So we've got typed, handwritten, or either. Either is a brand new feature that was just rolled out. You guys are the first to know about it. Unless you've created an assignment today before this, you probably haven't seen this part. It used to just be typed and handwritten, but now you can do either. So students can choose whether they type or they handwrite each response for essay questions, okay? We don't actually have an essay question for this assignment, but this is a really cool one to kind of look at. There, the next part, we go to maximum attempts. Now, if you want your students to be able to get that instant feedback or that instant coaching, you will probably want to add multiple attempts. If this is a summative assessment that you're wanting to give, you would just keep it at 1. For this, I'll just keep 3. I like 3 as a maximum attempts. You can adjust the order of the questions, so it doesn't matter for me, and the feedback timing. So before somebody mentioned that they weren't sure how they felt about the instant feedback, you can delay that. So if I clicked delayed here, the students would receive feedback after the entire assignment is submitted. Okay. I particularly like instant feedback, especially if I'm giving multiple attempts. There are some other ones here as well. Some of my favorites are hiding scores from students. So maybe I don't want my students to know what their actual grade is, but I want them to get the feedback. I can hide the scores from the students. I can shuffle multiple choice, and then I can also disable pasting. So this prevents students from pasting text into their responses. So if they found it on Google and they try to paste, it's not going to work. They're going to get a pop-up message informing them that pasting is disabled. So that part's pretty cool. And then you'll also notice there's some accommodations here. So we'll talk more about accommodations in our UDL session on Tuesday, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. But you are able to enable narration, dictation, and translation. But from the submission side, you can actually disable those. So once you've found everything to be to your liking, you'll click publish. And you're able to publish the assignment. I can actually add this to additional classes if I'd like. And then what's really nice about this is I can schedule this out. Say I don't even cover this for 2 more weeks. I can schedule that out and I don't have to think about it anymore. I can also add a due date and then a close date. So the close date might be after the due date. If you don't want submissions to keep rolling in after that due date, you just click close after due. And then you click continue. And I can always edit this as well. And then publish. And that's really how simple it can be. It can be super duper simple. You'll be able to see submissions in your submission tab as your students start turning those in. And so this is a really cool way of looking at this. Let me check the comments for some questions. Michael asked, can hyperlinks be added to the assignment? You can add hyperlinks to the assignment, but they may have to copy and paste them. Madison said, I love that we can give student choice. And Michael, let me check on that. Let's look at that together real quick. Maybe I want to edit this really quickly. Since I don't have any assignments here, let's just check on this together. I may need to back out. And then, so action, edit assignment, questions. Sometimes it'll let me change it afterwards, but editing after I published, it won't let me do that. So I have to refer to it to draft. So if I type in they would have to copy and paste it. So we don't have hyperlinks available yet, but our development team is amazing. So if you have specific requests, make sure you go in and ask for those. Like send us an email, send us, a chat on classcompanion.com. We love to see those requests and we take those serious. So if we have enough of them, we get to work right away. If you have a field that is missing, that red dot will show up. So if you don't have questions in there, or if you don't have an answer, so if you have like multiple choice questions, but you haven't given a correct answer, that can be the problem there. Kathleen asked, are these videos available after the session? Yes, you will get a replay. So don't worry if I'm going too quickly or if you just need some extra time to kind of take this all in, no worries, we got you. And Amy, I completely agree. Amy says it's a lot to digest, but it seems really super user-friendly. It is. It is very user-friendly. Once you kind of get around in there and play, it is very intuitive. And it is a lot to digest. That's why we wanted to kind of take these sessions and put them one at a time. Great. Okay. So again, I know that's a lot to kind of take in. And hopefully you guys were able to do this together with me. And if you weren't, that is perfectly okay. You can come back to this afterwards and be like, what did Brittany say? You can look into that, okay? Erica, the AI may be looking for a rubric. So we're going to actually look into that. We're going to have an engineer look into that for you, okay? I know that was a lot of information. I know that you're probably like, wow, Brittany, that was a ton. And it is. It's a lot to kind of think about, but that's why we're giving this to you a little bit at the time, okay? We're over a little bit on our time. I wanted to make this 1 hour. So if you have specific questions, you are more than welcome to put those in the chat right now. We'll keep this open for just a few more minutes to try to help answer those questions. But now that you have this better understanding of the power of this immediate feedback, of AI feedback and coaching, in our next session on Thursday at the same time, we're going to cover more methods and strategies for using this for formative assessment outside of just supporting essay grading and feedback. Because lots of times that's what we think of is just essays and that sort of thing. So if you have not already done so, head over to your dashboard, add session 2 to your calendar, invite a friend. And if you're unable to make it live to any session, I do want to remind you that while being here live is probably the best because, yeah, fun. You get to see me, you get to talk to me in real time. You will receive replays as well. Okay. So no worries there. Last but not least, once you have completed your action step in the Google Doc, head over to the PD certificate form located in your Power Up dashboard and submit your action step there. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to keep it open for a couple more minutes here. Everybody say thank you to Avery in the chat for helping us moderate while I can kind of talk and do this and be able to present and show you things while she's in the chat. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Avery. She is our CEO, our co-founder. This was her brainchild. Vincent said, it was cool to see the new updates from spring. I love the AI improvements to the rubric and hiding scores from students. Great for practice. Yes, tons of new improvements. Actually, tons of new improvements since last week. So we are really excited for all of that. Kathleen says, very helpful. I was skeptical, but however, this is amazing. And we think so too. We think so too. As an educator for 14 years, I have seen the use cases for this, and it's just fantastic. Not only what this can do for us as teachers, but for our students as well. Amy says, very helpful today. Brianna says, very helpful. Awesome. And also, let me say this too, because I saw Avery kind of mentioning this. If you're looking for how to complete the action steps where it says share a link, it does give you the step-by-step directions inside of your doc. So just scroll on down and it'll give you little screenshots with each independent direction. Ruby said, if we signed up for this session, are we automatically signed up for the others? You should get an email with to remind you of the sessions coming up, but each will have its own link. So those will be in, those are in the PD calendar inside of your dashboard. Awesome, Amy. Amy says, my son is listening in and completely interested as a sophomore in high school. Amazing. Yes. Fantastic. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this today. Real quick, I'm going to show you again where you can find the information. So if you are looking for the Power Up homework, it's bit.ly/Power Up Session HW. bit.ly/Power Up Session HW. And if you're looking for how to share, it's going to give you your checklist here. We went over these today in this workshop, but how to share a link for an assignment, it gives you each individual step. Okay. So in your assignment section, it tells you, gives you a picture, how to share with teachers. That's what we want to do here. We want to share with teachers. And then also for rubrics. So it gives you the information there as well. Erica and Jenny, if you are still here, the problem with yours was you need to create a correct answer for the multiple choice questions. And so you will submit the doc in the in your dashboard, in the Power Up dashboard. It will say session 1, request your PD certificate. You'll also get that in an email. I will be an in-service Thursday. I'll have to watch videos for future sessions. No worries, Charla. I'm so glad that you were here with us today. So glad that you guys could come and hang out with us. All right. So we went 10 minutes over. I am so sorry to keep you guys a little bit longer. Thank you again for coming and hanging out with us. We are so glad to be putting on this Power Up session. Remember that you can invite your friends. We are doing giveaways. Today, we went ahead and sent out some of the Clear the List sessions. So if you put your Amazon wish list in the form, we went ahead and sent some things out. So be on the lookout for packages. So if you are one of the lucky winners of that, and then we will be doing our first giveaway for the Amazon gift card. And just make sure that you are participating in those Power Up sessions because that gets you more points as you go on. In-service starts Thursday, school August 7th. So a camera pick will work. Yes, yes, Ken. And we'll show you a little bit more about that on Thursday as well. Thank you, Courtney. Jenny, do you know what? Class Companion is so cute. Any chance there's a plushie in the works? We will get on that. His name is Ditto. All right. Bye, guys. It was so great to hang out with you guys today. If you have any issues or questions, feel free to email support@classcompanion.com. Other than that, we will see you. Hang out with us in the Facebook group. If you have continued questions, put those questions in the Facebook group. We'll get back to you.